And today I want to talk quickly about Scientology and how this works, how you can Scientology crash course and why some ideas of Scientology are very good. There's the concept of clear. When you clear all your thetans or engrams, what's called. Basically, these things are triggers, things that trigger you. And how it was taught to me in the religious class we had in school is you go to these, you take courses, and there's a lie detector. It's like you take two metal things in your hand and it detects your sweat level. That's the E-meter here. It's a simple lie detector or stress detector. And then you go into counseling. There's a guy here, and he reads your E-meter, and you sit there with the pulse in your hand and talk about things that trouble you. And you will regurgitate this event to him until your E-meter goes flat. So you remove traumas, maybe, yeah, traumas. You remove trauma. You remove trauma, and from your head, things that trigger you, just by talking about them over and over again, until it gets boring to you. Or I don't know if he gives you some key advice, or maybe he has some Scientology doctrine he can tell you, and that this will be like a sponge to you can, let's say there's you have some response, but then he gives you the tools to counter that with one of the Scientology sayings, and over time this response just you stop, it just goes away, and then you are clear. No, but the bad thing is it costs a lot of money. They are sociopath. They're run by sociopaths, salesmen who want to suck you dry. That's the downside. They also, I think it used to be that you. That's how it was taught in religious class in Germany. There's called you get religious teaching. If you divide into evangelical or Catholic, and there's also the ethics class if you don't believe in anything. And I was in the evangelical class, and we always, and this is the big moral part of the school, where they talk about drugs, the badness of drugs, the badness of sects, and you get to know about these things. So that's all. What can you draw if you want to have a Scientology? Well, there's Scientology TV, Scientology.tv. There's also an app, and it streams on all the time. It's very well produced. I recommend anyone watching this. They give extra. This is you don't need to pay money to get the main idea. If you don't want a counselor to pay a counselor or a therapist to remove your triggers, you can start by being honest with yourself. That's very difficult, and it's also very spooky because let's say you're paranoid. Am I even being honest with myself? That's a big question. Maybe some things are always better to be left in the dark. Some things if you would know about them yourself, you would suddenly have to be ashamed again and put a leaf on it. When I read Art of the Deal, I imagined Trump having in his brain certain mirrors, and this is always configured in such a way that he can't see his faults. Donald Trump can't see his faults. This guy is totally in love with himself. He can't see his own faults. And if you read Art of the Deal, it's very obvious. if you want to consider those thoughts. For Donald Trump, being Donald Trump, this works amazingly. Donald Trump is the best version of Donald Trump he ever can be. If you want, now you come against this, you write a little list, things a good person should do and he should be honest in his dealings, he should not use predatory tactics, he should not do this and this and this and this, and he should not establish gambling houses. And you can go with the little list here and check that against the morals of Donald Trump and say, he's a bad person. And you try to tell us, if you try to tell us Donald Trump these things, he will just burst out laughing. Or he simply won't hear it. It will just go over his head and he will, I don't know how he would respond. Well, he made it to president, so there's that. Without Scientology, just by... Was Donald Trump honest with himself? Bigly. Bigly, bigly, bigly.